Hello and welcome to another edition of Friday Night Series, How to Pray. And I'm your host, the Reverend Doctor. And tonight I want to continue my series on in how to pray on the mysteries of prayer. Now there's a lot of mysteries of prayer and things that we need to actually take a look at. We've talked about whether or not we should have a long prayer or a short prayer, and talk about how God knows what it is that He already knows what you want, but He still wants you to ask anyway. Well, tonight we want you to talk about the prayer, using our prayer, or prayer is that we can reason with God in our prayer. Our prayers, we can actually reason with God. And when I'm saying reason with God, that you come to God, that we come to God and we reason with Him, and we let Him know all of the situations, we let Him know everything that we're in. Now, when we talk about reasoning with God, there is a very powerful prayer that reasons with God, and when you come to God, you can talk to Him. You know, just talk to God, tell God everything. In this prayer, in this reasoning prayer in the Bible, is Abraham, when God was going to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. You go back and read the story, you'll notice that Abraham pleaded with God. He reasoned with God that God was going to destroy it. And God said that if there be 50 righteous people, then He'd save it. Because then when Abraham went back and said, he went back to God. I'm paraphrasing, but God said, God, what about 45? And then He said, you're gonna kill it over, you're gonna destroy the city over 5 righteous people. God said, well, I'll 45. Then He came back and He said, how about 40? And then he came back and he said, what about 30? And then then he said 20. And then He reasoned again and said, God, what about 10? And God said, if you find me 10 righteous people, I'll save it. 10 righteous people, and I'll save it. But it started out at 50. But he reasoned with God. And he said, God, I know you're all powerful, God, but God, what if there, 30 people? And then he couldn't find 30. And then, okay, God, what if there were 20 people? And then God said, and then he said, God, what if I find 10? Would you save the city? Would you save it? And God said, bring me 10. And do you know he could not find out one righteous person? But that he reasoned with God. And we know that people, we reason with God. We come to God and say, God, why me? And things of that nature. But in prayer, one of the mysteries of prayer is that we can reason with God. We can reason with Him. But we got to be truthful to Him. We got to be truthful. And here Abraham is reasoning with God to save this wretched city for just a few righteous people. So when we if you want to try reason with God, and because God wants you to know want to know how prevalent you are in your prayer. Reason with God. Reason with Him. Follow the lead of Abraham in Abraham reasoning to keep God from destroying a wretched city that everybody knew about, Sodom and Gomorrah. And even today, we should be pleading with God that He would save this world for a few righteous people. We had a reason with God, that you would save, your Son Jesus Christ would save this world for a few righteous people. Reason with God. So your next prayer, Reason with God. Reason with God. Well, this has been another edition of Friday Night Series, How to Pray. And I'm your host, the Reverend Doctor. And I always sign off by saying, if you're too busy to pray, you're too busy. May God have mercy on our soul.